Remember when I said 3 videos 3 days in a row?
That's what you did!
I lied.
Wouldn't it be funny if I made a fifth? Anyhow, today I'm talking about Camp Rock 3, the third installment in the Camp Rock franchise, and I grew up as a Disney Channel kid. When I was very young, yeah, I did watch the original Camp Rocks. I didn't rewatch them in preparation for the third one because I got other franchises to worry about, but also I had the suspicion that Camp Rock wouldn't exactly be my thing nowadays. And that kind of bleeds into my overall feelings of Camp Rock 3, but why don't I just get into the plot and see how it goes from there? It's Camp Rock. It's a camp where you basically become a musician and try to better your skills in order to be in the final jam. So we follow a new set of characters as they try to figure out whether or not they're able to become these megastars, especially in the midst of the Jonas Brothers characters, offering them the chance of a lifetime in the form of them opening for their Connect 3 band. Because, yeah, the Jonas Brothers aren't playing themselves, they're playing Connect 3. I guess the performances all work. Like, they're nothing inspired, but then again, I feel like the original Camp Rock wasn't exactly anything inspired too. They work, they're serviceable. Leah Monty is definitely the standout, maybe because she's the main character, but she definitely shows a lot of potential. And I mean, most of the singing's good in a recording studio, but I felt like Leah Monty had some sort of screen presence that, while not exactly to Demi Lovato's standard from what I can recall, yeah, she definitely has a bright future ahead of her. The directing was pretty inspired. Like, it feels like a much higher budget Disney Channel movie because don't forget, this is not a direct to streaming movie. This is a movie that happened to appear on streaming the day after it aired on a Disney Channel. So this is still a Disney Channel movie at the end of the day. And I don't know, part of me really wanted it to harken back to the Disney Channel days. And to an extent it does, but ultimately the direction's still solid alongside the cinematography, which is definitely much stronger than your average TV movie. I'm not sure if it truly matches the feel of the original ones because I think that was still in a time where cinema was still kind of figuring out whether the transition to digital was a smart idea. Like, ultimately, the next decade would see an almost full transition. But the cinematography, I will admit, is beautiful. And a lot of the songs were really catchy. Like, I don't think any of them's gonna stick in my head like the first two movies, and it kind of feels like other movies have better soundtracks. I mean, literally, my previous video was Rivals of Messiah King, and that soundtrack walks all over Camp Rock 3. But still, if you're a fan of the original Camp Rock songs, nothing will stick in your head as much as the original two movies, but they work solidly, although I feel like one of them ripped off Virtual Insanity. So there's that. Issues. Screenplay is kind of weak. Like, I do feel that the screenplay gets the job done, but for a movie like this, I feel like it's not self-aware in getting the job done. Like, it clearly wants to be a love letter and strong follow-up to the previous Camp Rock movie, so I'm not sure if it's my nostalgia goggles being faded. As in, I haven't seen Camp Rock for such a while, so I don't know if I would still smile at it today. So take this as a guy who doesn't exactly remember all of Camp Rock and just watch this as a third installment in a world where we got so many great movies. Enough so that a TV movie just doesn't cut it for me. But the screenplay really doesn't have as much character development as I remember from the original movies. But with that said, it does get the job done, but you don't really latch onto any of the characters. Leah Monty's performance is really the only character I latched onto, and that's not even talking about her character. I mean, the Jonas Brothers are in it, and they spoiled a cameo, but they really are just marginal roles in comparison with the new cast, who I generally like. They are not amazing or anything, but this is Camp Rock. You're not expecting, like, cinema. Although I will admit, I did get a bit of nostalgia when it came to the songs, especially in the early parts of the movie, because it does feel like Camp Rock in a lot of places, or at least what I remember of Camp Rock. But then other times it just feels like, why am I watching this? This feels like Henry Danger the movie all over again. Not as bad as Henry Danger the movie, don't get me wrong. But it does feel slight, and it can get repetitive and kind of boring at times, despite this new kind of reinvention of the Camp Rock franchise. And that may just have to do with my expectations and maybe me being spoiled by movies like Project Hail Mary, Odyssey, Session. And I don't know, I just kind of grew out of Kids Network stuff like Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, and while this TV movie could have easily been a lot stronger, I do respect it for at least trying. Although, what happened to that R-rated Camp Rock 3? I really do want to see that in comparison to this. By that I mean I think it would automatically be stronger. Someone should make like a spoof of Camp Rock and make it rated R. I mean, that would probably be something very special. But whatever, some of the people watching this are probably kids who haven't even heard of Obsession. Ask your parents, they probably heard of it, probably not. I don't know, you'll probably like it if you're such a big fan of the previous Camp Rock movies, and if you're into the Disney Channel stuff, you're definitely going to have some fun with this. And even as a guy who vaguely remembers Camp Rock and remembers growing up with them, I did have some fun with Camp Rock 3, although it really does lack the nostalgia as well as early charm of late 2000s Disney Channel movies. Like, I feel like it's kind of too late for this sort of movie to come out because the last Camp Rock movie came out in like 09, 10. So even without any proper comparisons, I think it's the weakest of the Camp Rock movies, but you can have a fine enough time with it. Not good enough to approve, not bad enough to reject. It's on Disney Plus, 5 out of 10. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications, comment your thoughts on the movie, and let me know if the old Camp Rock movies still hold up. I mean, I know the songs do, like some of the songs are still in my head. In fact, the movie does repeat a lot of the songs from the original one. New stuff's good too, but let me know. Alright, peace.